Welcome to the Steve Miller Agency. Thank you for clicking on this video. I believe it will be time well spent. I just wanted to give you a small introductory video to tell you a little bit about me and how it relates to your decision to buy insurance or annuities. By the end of the video, you will be more informed and knowledgeable about the insurance buying process and how you can use this information to your advantage regardless of whether you decide to purchase from me or not. First, I would like to give you a little background about me. My insurance career started back in the early 90s. I started selling life insurance for a large national company. At that point, I was a captive agent. They call it captive because I was a captive of that company. I could not sell other companies' products. The company that I sold for was very well known, and they are a very conservative company. I worked for them for about 2 years. After that, I went to work for a large global mutual fund company. I became a specialist in a department that services retirement accounts for employer-sponsored plans, which included 401ks, 403bs, 401as. Our division specialized in not-for-profit companies like hospitals, universities, school systems, and foundations. I did that for almost 10 years. During the 10 years, I managed a number of teams, one of which was a team of senior associates that serviced high-net-worth clients. It was a great experience, and I became an expert about retirement, savings, investments, mutual funds, and customer service. My late father was a bit of an entrepreneur, and I think some of it rubbed off. So in 1996, I decided to venture into business ownership, and I started the Steve Miller Agency. I purchased a name brand insurance agency. At the time of purchase, I contracted to sell their products exclusively. So there I was, a captive agent again. I had great name recognition, and the company that I was selling for advertised everywhere all the time. Their logo makes people feel warm and fuzzy, but as time passed, I soon learned that I was limited as to the products that I sold, and I could only sell policies for the name brand company. It was in my contract. If the product which the company was allowing me to sell was not competitively priced, I didn't have a sell. If the customer didn't qualify for the company that I was selling for, I didn't have a sell. Guess what? I didn't have a sell, and I didn't like it. It just didn't seem that I was serving my clients' best interests, and I didn't like the fact that I could not offer my customers more competitively priced products. Well, in 2010, I sold my agency and opened my own agency. I still operated under the Steve Miller Agency name, but now, rather than offering one company, I can offer several companies, and frankly, I love it. Now, I'm helping people find products that are competitively priced, which are specifically better for that customer's risk profile. A person might think that one company would consistently be the low-price company, but what I've learned is that companies tend to have specific niches that they are competitive in. One may be competitive for seniors, another may be competitive for singles, and another for households with young drivers, and yet another may favor people with extraordinary credit scores. Let me show you how it works. Okay, what we're going to do first is we're going to show you how I go about quoting property and casualty insurance. In this first example, I'll come into my software program. I'll input a person's information. In this case, I've input my own information. What I do next is I go and select the type of quote that I'm going to do. So I'll come up here and I'll click on Auto Quote. In this case, you can see I've already quoted this previously, so I'll just double click the Auto Quote. That's going to launch the actual quote. In this case, because it's been quoted previously, it's going to ask me if I want to re-quote the same customer or if I want to edit the prior quote. In this case, I'm just, for the purpose of demonstration, I'm just going to click re-quote. So I plug that, I choose re-quote, and then what happens is it jumps from this driver information tab over to the quote tab, which is just outside the screen that you're looking at. But as you can see here in the center of my screen, it's going out and it's essentially contacting all these prospective companies, and those companies are telling me what their rates are based on the information that I've submitted. So it's going to continue to do that. As you can see, it takes a little time to go out to each of these different companies, but we're already starting to see there's kind of a range of pricing. It looks like one company here is at in the neighborhood of $455 every 6 months.
$460, $530, $570. Here's one clear up at almost $900. Here's some over $1,000. So you can see there's a very big range between the companies and the disparity. But in that few minutes that I have begun quoting this process, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, I've basically gone out and looked at 12 different companies to find out who has the best rates. So that's an example of an auto quote. So in a nutshell, that's how we quickly and efficiently find customers very inexpensive insurance by quoting a number of different companies simultaneously. So that's the auto quote. So here we are back to the prior screen, and this time I'm going to just click the home quote, and I'll just double click that, and then you can see how quickly we can go out and quote property insurance, whether it's a condo, whether it's a renter's policy or a homeowner's policy, whichever type of property policy that you have. It's easy to go out and quote this very quickly. So again, you can see here a number of different companies that are coming back with the annual premium for a particular policy based on the information I've submitted. Here's a company $240. Here's a company $455. So you can see here that again, there's a fair discrepancy or a fair difference between one company and another company. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how we can quickly and efficiently quote life insurance. I launch my program and I come to this screen, and here what I do is I enter information that will help me generate a number of quotes very quickly. First, I select the state of the individual that I'm quoting, and then we'll pick a birth date, just a random date. Let's call it January 1st. This person was born in 1960. It's a male, non-smoker. The next thing we're going to do is select this person's health class. What we do is we'll come down here, and based on a person's height and weight profile, we'll try to estimate the closest weight class for that particular risk profile. In this case, we're just going to select preferred. And then the next thing what we'll do is we will select the kind of insurance that they're looking for. We have a number of different term options. We also have level options to certain ages. And then we have different products such as the return of premium. We also have products that go out to age 121, and we can plug in a number of different products to meet a person's objective of their insurance. In this case, one of the more common policies is a 20-year level term, so we'll just select that. And then we're just going to say that this person has a reasonable need, $1 million policy is what they'd like us to quote. So essentially at this point I'll just plug that information in, and then I'll just hit that search button, and as you can see I have a large number of different companies and their pricing. So going across the top, it's the different results of this particular profile, and here's the company that's quoting, the name of the company. This A&B stands for AM Best. That's a rating service, and as you can see, these policies or these companies that we quote are all highly rated companies. And then we're looking at the annual premium and the monthly premium, and then the product name, followed by the person's health class. Once we determine the policy that appears to be most appropriate for the individual that we're quoting, we can go in and then click this button, which is request an application. In addition, we can run an actual illustration from that company. But as you can see, from this list and the companies that I'm quoting, I have a very broad range to choose from in terms of pricing, in terms of products. So it's a very effective and efficient way to shop for life insurance.
Suffice it to say, I have placed insurance with numerous companies and my clients like saving money, so it's a win-win. The reason that I'm showing and telling you this is now you have a couple of options when it comes to shopping for insurance. You can spend a couple days calling through the phone book to get quotes from different companies, and you may find one that happens to represent a competitively priced product. Then again, you might not. You can enter your information into the internet and get a lot of calls from agents for the next 3 months, maybe to the point of harassment. And if you're fortunate, one of those companies might have a competitively priced product. Or you can check with me and I can enter your information into my software and shop several very competitive companies for you with no harassment. And I'm not talking about B and C rated companies. I'm talking about solid companies that have solid ratings. Some you may recognize, some you may not. Regardless, they are all very good companies, and more importantly, they pay their claims. Well, that's it. I hope I've given you something to think about when shopping for insurance. If you would like a quote, please call 801-709-QUOTE or 801-709-7868.